This is higher homework. It's practice paper C and we're looking at question 4 in the calculator paper. What I've got to do is I have to solve 3 cosine 2x is equal to 11 cosine x minus 6, and the range that I've got is between 0 and 2 pi. Okay, so I can see because it's 2 pi, I know that we're going to be answering in radians. If you normally work through and maybe do some of the work in degrees and then change it, you can do that, but for this one here I'm just going to work in radians towards the end. Right then, so let's go ahead and start this one off, and generally as mathematicians what we'll try and do is just try and get this kind of equation here equal to 0 so that it kind of allows us to solve that. So let's go for it. So 3 cosine 2x, I'm going to bring the 11 cosine x over this side, so it'll be minus 11 cosine x. Bring the 6 over, would be a plus 6 equals 0. Okay. I'll then substitute in here, so it's an addition formula type question here, and I'll look at the formula list, and from there I'll choose an appropriate substitution for this part here. What I'm going to choose is, I'm going to choose the formula that's got cosine in it, so that it allows me to work out either a trinomial or if it's a common factor that I have to work through, and I'll do that. So here I'm going to use 2 cosine squared x minus 1. So that's a substitution I've got in the formula list. Okay, so I've got minus 11 cosine x plus 6 is equal to 0. So let's multiply this out. Minus 3 minus 11 cosine x plus 6 equals 0. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll just gather together the numbers at that side there. So I've got 6 cosine squared x minus 11 cosine x, and that'll give me plus 3 here. So I can't take any common factor out of here to simplify it down. What I'll do is I'll just go straight ahead, and what I'll do is I'll factorise this out. Okay, so what I'll go for is I'll go for 3 cosine x, and I'll go for 2 cosine x. So the two of these multiply together to get this term here, and I've got 3 and 1 to multiply to get this one, and it would go around this way here. 2 minus signs, that's a positive, 2 minus, that'll make a minus. So just check it out. 6 cosine squared x, that's going to be minus 9, minus 2 gives me minus 11 in total, that gives me plus 3. So that's it factorised out correctly. Right, so from there, what I've got is I know that 3 cosine x minus 1 equals 0. So what I've got here is I've got cosine x, take the 1 over, divide it by 3 is equal to 1/3. On this side here, what I've got is I've got cosine, 2 cosine x minus 3 is equal to 0. So cosine x is equal to, bring the 3 over, divide it by the 2. So cosine x is equal to 3 over 2. On this side here, what I'm going to do is I know that the normal cosine graph, remember, would something like that there. That would be up to 1 and that would be down to minus 1. That would be 0. If I'm looking for a value on the y-axis that's 3 upon 2, that would be somewhere up here. That doesn't touch the graph at all, so there's no solution from this side. Okay. Remember that 3 over 2 is greater than the maximum value of the sine, the cosine graph. The maximum of 1 for y is equal to cosine x. Okay, so just no solution at that side is good enough for that. On this side here, what I'll do is I'll set my calculator to radians, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to be working out 2 values. So if I think about my CAS table, so the all sine tan cos, and from there what I'm going to be looking at, if that's a positive value there, I'm going to be looking for values in the first quadrant and in the fourth quadrant. So all I need to do is to work out the acute angle, is to take the inverse cosine of 1/3, and remember, if my calculator's in radians, that should give me this value here, and what I'll do is I'll make it to 3 decimal places when I'm dealing in radians. Okay, and remember the radians don't always work out to be nice and neat like pi.3, pi.6 or anything like that. Sometimes when you're working through these questions, it'll work out as a number, a decimal number. So I then need to find my quadrant 4 solution. So the quadrant 4 solution is going to be 2 pi, take away the acute angle that I've worked out. From there, what that should give me is 5.052185, and finally from there is 5.052, and that's radians, and that's to, let's see, 3 decimal places. Okay. Okay, so just finally from here, I'll just state the solutions. So solutions are x is equal to 1.231, and we've got 5.052 radians. Okay, let's have a look at the marking for this question here. So first mark I'm going to go for is for substituting in here. So substitution for cosine 2x, I've got 2 cosine squared x minus 1. I'll then set everything equal to 0 there, and what I'll get is 1 mark for getting down here and factorising that through there. I'll go for 1 further mark for getting this line here, so both the cosine x is a third and cosine x is 3/2. 1 mark here for no solution being stated, and let's see, 1 mark for getting that solution and 1 mark for getting that one. So that should be 6 marks in total. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 out of 6 marks.